Carlene, your host. I am so happy today to have with me a very special guest. She is a wonderful person. I am blessed. I am humbled to be in her presence. Today I just want to tell you a little bit about my guest. Her name is Jacqueline Twillie. She is a millennial career advisor and a best-selling author. She has worked in the corporate industry for many years, and she worked in many companies such as Victoria's Secret, AT&T, and CDC. Jacqueline began building her expertise in career development and coaching while in the Metro Atlanta area. Jackie's mission is to eliminate the gender wage gap by teaching women the skills how to be successful, negotiate what they're worth. So today I would like to introduce to you no other than Miss Jacqueline Twillie. Thank you, Jackie, for being on my show. I'm really happy that you stopped by.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. I know you have a busy schedule and you just flew in from New York, and I'm very appreciative of that. Thank you. So Jackie, tell me, what is, I know that you have a book, I want to talk about your book because I know you wrote a book and it's already in the market.
Yes.
And it's doing extremely well.
Yes.
And, but first I'd like you to tell the viewers a little bit about Jackie and what you do.
Okay, so first of all, I tell everyone I'm an auntie first. I have an 8-year-old nephew. His name is Ty. He is the smartest kid I know. He's going to watch this, so if I don't give his shout out, he's going to ask me.
Okay, shout out.
I did not say his name. I also have a niece, and her name is Willow. She's 2 years old. So that's my first thing, being an auntie. But in addition to that, as you mentioned, I wrote the book, Navigating the Career Jungle, and I work with millennial women, helping them to negotiate when they get a job offer and at performance review time. And I really got to that place to help women negotiate when I found out how big the gender wage gap was. So it's very widespread, depending on which state. Right. Some women can make around 46 cents on a dollar compared to a man. Wow. The national average is 78 cents for a woman compared to what a white non-Hispanic male makes. And my first job, I didn't negotiate either, and I didn't know you were supposed to negotiate. And when I found out that there was this huge gap, and it's because we don't act. So that's why I'm on a mission to eliminate the gender wage gap.
Okay, that's awesome. Wow, I didn't even know that. So we want to get more into this book. This is Jacqueline's book. Is called Navigating the Career Jungle. So if you haven't picked up a copy yet, please do go ahead and pick one up. I'm starting promoting already. But anyway, Jackie, I want to talk more about you are on the best-selling author on Amazon.com. I mean, how do you feel about it? This is your first book.
Yes.
How do you feel?
I was excited. So when the book came out in 2014, April 2nd, the following week is when it hit the bestseller list for its category on Amazon. And I was excited and I was shocked. And it was like, is this real? And, it was just a surreal moment. One of my goals was to become an Amazon bestselling author when I was writing the book. So that was my intention. But just to see it, it was very exciting and very rewarding at the same time. But I'll have to tell you a little story. I got nervous after I wrote the book. And I didn't want to publish it because I didn't know what people would say about me. Or if they would say, she's so young, what does she know? And things like that. Okay. But so my book is dedicated to Brian Sears, my boyfriend, my mom, my aunt, and my nephew. Brian encouraged me. He pretty much was like, no, the book is done. It has to be published. So if it wasn't for him, I might have pulled back and not published the book. So
God bless you, Brian, for being so supportive, and mom, and all the family members.
Yes, the family members. But yeah, he really pushed me at that last leg to like go ahead and get done. And even when I started writing the book, he was a big support for that as well.
It's a blessing. It's always good to have someone in your corner who's very, 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 very supportive. And ladies, we need that. When you have seen someone, make sure they're supportive of your dreams and they're not blocking you. Don't be with any dream killers. Avoid. Walk away. Hear it from the woman, okay? All right. So, Jackie, tell me, when and why did you start writing this book?
So I started writing the book in August of 2013, And one of the reasons why I wrote the book is because a lot of people were coming to me for career advice, and I would have phone conversations where I would say the same thing, or I would send a long email. And after a while, I was joking with Brian, I should just write a book. I keep saying the same thing.
So you say jokingly, and then it comes to reality.
So the next week, I was like, I'm going to write a book. And I wrote a book proposal, and I started talking to local publishers, which we ended up self-publishing the book.
That's awesome.
But that's how it happened.
Awesome. So how did you come up with I know it has to do with career, but how did you come up with the theme and career jungle? How did you, okay, that is so unique. I mean, how did you come up with the title?
So I read Sheryl Sandberg's book, Lean In. Sheryl Sandberg is the chief operating officer for Facebook. And in her book, Lean In, she talks about the career jungle gym. So as I'm talking to different people and I'm coaching people on what to do in their careers, it just got to a point where this is a jungle. It is a career jungle. It's not a ladder anymore. People don't just go straight up to the top.
That's true.
You might have to take a lateral position or take a step back to get in the industry that you want to move and really progress in your career. So it's like this, it's not a straight path. It's kind of like you have to make your own path. And that's kind of where the book title came from.
Okay. All right, so let's just get into it. Let's just dive into the book. So tell us a little bit more about the book, because you have some very, very interesting chapters. They were awesome. I fell in love with all of them, but I have one special one. But tell us more about it. What's in it? What does it detail?
So I walk people through from the very first chapter, Savvy Networking, telling people how important it is to network in their jobs. And the reason why I selected that chapter to be first is because a lot of the job offers that I got, I didn't apply to those jobs. Those jobs, someone would call me and say, oh, such and such is hiring, this would be perfect for you. Or this lady who uses the same sitter as me, she's hiring and she described what she's looking for, and that's you. And it was because I was networking.
Right.
And we can talk about that a little bit more. But the book also progresses through how do you handle difficult situations. Like you shouldn't burn bridges. Because there's people that we don't like, that we work with, and it's going to happen no matter if you love your job or not.
Yes, or where you go.
Right, so just giving young professionals tips like be cordial. You might not like them, they might not like you, but you can still work with that person and be respectful and pleasant, and that plays a big part in who you are and your reputation. And with a lot of young professionals, everybody's big on branding, personal branding, but your personal brand is what people say about you, not just what you post on social media.
That is true.
So those are some of the things that I cover in the book.
Oh, awesome. Well, we're going to touch a little bit more on some of those topics, but is there, when you're writing, is there a favorite chapter in this book that stood out to you while you were writing?
All of it was really good. I think the chapter that I connected with the most was the networking chapter, because that was really successful for me.
I'm glad you said that, because I'm just going to piggyback on what you said. That was for me too. I love all of it, but that just hit, just hit home. I read it and I was like, that is maybe because I'm in that right now. I'm doing a lot of networking. So for me, I was like, okay, this is good, and this is where I need to be, and this is how I need to do this. And that was so interesting. So so that was one of my favorite. And you had said something in your book that was so profound. You said that collecting business cards, it's not just about collecting business cards, it's more about a personal relationship, the growth of the person, professional relationship. So can you explain a little more in that?
Yeah, so a lot of times people go to a networking event and they just pass out business cards and they never follow up with the person afterwards. They never make that connection. They never get to know who it is. So in the book, I detail step by step on what you should do when you network, especially when you go to an event. One of the things is focusing on the relationship. So the most important part isn't collecting the business card, it's following up, it's scheduling a time to meet for coffee or meet in person, to talk, to find out about that person and get to know their interests, and really just find out how you can help each other. And I talk about in the book, you have to build a mutually beneficial relationship. So not just what's going to help me, but what's going to help you as well. How can I help you reach your goals? And it might be as simple as sending somebody an article. If you mention to me, for instance, I want to use Twitter a little bit more, I can send you an article on how to maximize use of Twitter. It doesn't take me a lot of time to pull that article. You might just run across it randomly and think, oh, I remember our conversation, let me send that. And that's how you start to build a mutually beneficial relationship.
Oh, that's awesome, because that was very beneficial for me, because I met a lot of people recently, and now I know I have to call them and say, hey, how you doing? Maybe we can have lunch or do something just to talk about their vision, my vision. So that's very, very awesome. I appreciate that. Also, I know people have a lot, when you're doing your writing, there's something called the dreadful writer's block. How did you cope with that? How did you overcome? Did you ever have one, or if you did, how did you overcome it?
So I had times where I didn't want to write.
Right.
Maybe I was tired or I wanted to do something else. But I was working full-time at the Center for Disease Control when I wrote the book. I adjusted my work schedule. I didn't really publicize that I was adjusting my work schedule to write a book. I just requested a schedule change. So one of the things that helped me was I'm working every day, so I'm looking, because I'm writing the book, I can look at somebody and say, oh, they shouldn't be doing that. But it's not really my place to tell them that. Right. But I can write about it in my book. So
you take it out of the book. Okay, I got you.
But as you'll notice from the book, I don't really go into, like most books, where they give a lot of scenarios and stories like, this person did this and this person did this. I didn't get into that. I just kind of cut straight to the chase and this is what you should do and what you shouldn't do, and here's some XYZ steps. But I really didn't have much of writer's block. Okay. I was very disciplined. Even when I remember days when I was really tired and drained, I would force myself to hit my word count goal for that day.
That's awesome. Wow. Okay, maybe I need to learn a lesson from that. But thank you. Okay, another part in your book that really touched me, because I worked in where I work, we do a lot of interviewing and everything like that. And sometimes when people do come for interviews, their clothing is not up to par for the interview. So, and I know you discussed a little bit about that. So can you share with the viewers, dress codes that people do need to know when they're going for interviews, as far as just interview professionally, even doing networking? Can you emphasize on that a little bit?
So that's a really important part. I talk about it twice in the book, in the networking chapter and in the interviewing chapter. So depending on the type of event you're going to, if you're networking, look at pictures of previous events. Go to the website of the organization who's hosting it or their Facebook page, just to see what people wore at the last event. It's always good to be overdressed versus underdressed. Right. So that's a good rule of thumb.
My mom always told me that.
Yes. But when you're interviewing in the professional workplace, especially here in Metro Atlanta, I work with clients who are accountants, but I also work with people who are in technology. So accountants, you're wearing maybe a navy suit or a dark colored suit with a white button down top. Right. And for my technology folks, they can wear a pair of khakis and a polo. So you have to know where you're going. You have to do your research before you go into an interview, before you go to a networking event, to figure out what's going to be the best type of attire for you to wear. And when in doubt, you can always ask the person who invited you, what is the dress code?
Yes, exactly.
And most people will say, oh, it's this or it's that.
Or, exactly. That's true, to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well, that's good to know. And also, resume. I had a couple of resumes given to me, I think it was on yesterday. And there was this resume that has like 5 or 6 pages. Now, is that something that you recommend for people that send in a resume to different companies if they're looking for a job, to have that much? Or what can you tell these people about writing resumes, the resume that is appropriate for the position?
Again, this is
and before let me just because I remember even in your book you said that your resume is a snapshot of who you are and your work experiences. Yes. Which is true. So,
yes. It is a snapshot. It's not your life story.
Thank you. Sorry. Okay.
But that's the case. I have some clients who are scientists and who are doctors and they use a CV, those are longer formats and those can be 5 or 10 pages.
Right.
On the other side, if you're going in for an accountant position
Yes.
or maybe an account manager position and you have 3 years experience, you really just need 1 page, especially if you just graduated from college. You should not have more than 1 page. Now, I know people will tell younger folks, if you babysat before, if you worked at Wendy's, put all of that on your resume. But you need to put everything in perspective. I wouldn't tell you that I flipped burgers at Wendy's, which I did work at Wendy's when I was in high school. But I'm not going to tell you that if I'm going in for an accounting job. It's not relevant.
Exactly.
So make sure everything that you have on your resume is related to the job that you're applying for. So I tell people all the time, you need to customize your resume for the position that you're applying to. And most people will say, I don't understand what's wrong with people because I applied for 100 jobs and nobody's called me.
Reject.
And I look at the resume and the first thing I see is like, what have you been doing? It's very general and it's like a list of duties. So the bullets on your resume, they shouldn't be your duties, they should be your accomplishments.
Exactly.
So think about a challenge that you had, how you overcame it, and the result, and you put that in your bullet.
Right. Awesome. And if you need to know more about it, it's in this book. Okay, Jackie, let's talk about the interviewing. A lot of times was the interviewer, and I would have, they would come and I'll ask them questions, but yet they'll keep babbling about different things that has nothing to do with the interview. Now, can you tell us what are some of the things to avoid, the pitfalls, some of the things that we should avoid while in the process of interviewing?
Yeah, so one of the big things I tell people to avoid, and I talk about it a lot in the book, is if you have a bad experience with the last company that you work for, you don't need to go into detail about the one time somebody gave you the side eye in the hallway or when somebody interrupted you in the meeting and from then on you two just had this horrible relationship because they did this. That's unnecessary, and the person who's interviewing you is going to look at you and say, well, that's your main focus, that's all you got from it. Instead, you should say, even let's say for a difficult situation, maybe you were let go and you were fired.
Right.
You can say, we reached a point where our values no longer align and we decided to part ways. Keep it brief.
Right.
You don't have to go into detail and go all the way down into, especially, leave the drama out of it. But another thing that you shouldn't do in an interview is go in unprepared. So you definitely need to look at the company's website, look at their press releases, any press release that's come out lately. You want to look at their LinkedIn. You want to see how they're engaging with their customers on Twitter, on social media. You want to look to see what they have on the Better Business Bureau website. I tell people to look at Glassdoor.com for reviews on the employer, just so that you know what you're getting yourself into. And when you go in and you can say, oh yes, I saw this on a press release that your company has this initiative, and by the way, I did this in college or I did this in high school. That's when you can bring those little things in and say, well, I have direct experience with that. And by you saying that and connecting those dots, that shows them why you're the right person for the position.
Exactly, that is so true. I spoke with someone yesterday. I called them because they had applied to my company, and the first thing the person said to me was, how much do you pay?
Oh.
No, that was such a turn off for me, so I took the resume and I set it aside.
Yeah.
That's just not, please do not call the company, and when they ask you to come in for an interview, the first thing should not be, how much do you pay and what are the hours? That's just not right. So please, 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 please don't do that.
Yeah.
Is that true?
A lot of people, and with negotiation, I tell people, wait until you get the job offer. Wait until they love you, and then you work out those details. Now, another thing with, on the same line of what do you pay and what are the hours, you can find a lot of that information out online. You can get those ranges online. But in addition to going online, when you apply for a job, ask people that you know. Do you know anybody who works in this company? And you can kind of get the scoop and the inside on the organization before they even call you. So you save yourself the embarrassment and having your resume put in the trash pile.
Say that again. But anyway, God is good. Okay, Jackie. So I'm so happy that you're here, and thank you so much. I know you wrote is it a note guide that you were doing a promotion for that? What is that about? Because I remember you were promoting it even on Facebook.
Yeah.
You went to Louisiana. Tell us more about that.
So right now I'm working on a negotiation guide for millennial women, and it's going to be an ebook format, and I'm releasing this for free. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I really want to bring awareness to the gender wage gap and to stress the importance of negotiating. So that's something I'm working on. I'm talking about the things that you can negotiate for other than salary. In the book, I'm giving resources that you can use to go online, giving you some strategies to use as well. And I'm really excited about this project, and I'm even more excited that I'm able to do it and release it to everyone for free.
You said free?
Yes.
You heard that, it's free.
So just head over to my website, JacquelineTwillie.com, and when you subscribe to my email list, you'll get that.
Okay, all right, that's awesome. Okay, so let's talk about Miss Jackie here. So Jackie, tell me, if you had to choose, which writer would you consider to be a mentor and why?
I guess when it comes to a writing mentor, I read a lot. My best friend knows that my weakness is ordering books.
Right.
I buy a lot of books.
Okay.
So the writer that I'm reading a lot of right now is Joyce Meyer.
I love her.
I like her writing style.
Yes.
It's very conversational.
Yes.
But at different phases, I have different writers that I like. So, and I look at their writing style and I just get immersed in it. And if I can read and turn page after page after page, that's something that I can relate to.
Okay, well that's good. I love Joyce Meyer too. She's awesome. And one of my favorite is T.D. Jakes also.
Yes.
Love him. So if you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would that be? What would those words be?
Auntie.
She loves her niece.
Yes, I love my niece and nephew.
nephews. So that's a blessing.
So if anybody follows me on social media, you'll see me post pictures of them.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
They're cute too, by the way. They're of course.
Thank you. And the second word I would say is adventurous. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see my skydive video, which my nephew asked me after I skydived. He saw the video. He's like, "Aunt Jackie, are you crazy? What were you thinking?"
How old is he now?
He's 8 now.
Oh, okay.
I think he was like 6 at the time.
Oh, and they love him some Auntie Jackie.
Yes.
Oh, that's a blessing.
And I would say the third word is to describe me. I think I'm fun. I'm kind of silly at times, and people will see my silly side when they hang out with me.
Okay. So for me, one word describes it all. Humble.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're such a humble person, and that goes a long way. It speaks volume.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, Miss Jackie. So let's see here. There are viewers out there who are watching, and can you give them a little tip on people who are, we talked about what's in the book, who are struggling, just a little word of encouragement when they're going for the job interviews, networking, just to build them up. Because some people want to quit, like you said, they've been rejected, they don't know what else to do, they're frustrated. Just, a little word of encouragement. Any words of encouragement.
Yeah, so the main thing is be confident in yourself. One of the things that I tell my clients and when I teach workshops, pay attention to the things that you do when people compliment you and you say, "Oh, no big deal, that's not a big deal," and you write it off. That is a big deal, and you shouldn't say that, because when you downplay your skills, other people will downplay them. So instead of saying, "Oh, no big deal," say, "Thank you, I pride myself on doing this well. Thanks, I appreciate that compliment. This is something that I'm working towards." Really start to own those things that you're good at. That will help you build your confidence. Now, another thing that I suggest for people who maybe you've applied to a lot of jobs and you feel discouraged and you don't know what to do next, ask 10 friends. And if you're in any of my live workshops, I tell everybody to do this. Ask 10 friends to describe you in 3 words. So maybe 6 people will respond or 5 people will respond. When you get those words back, write them out on a card, write them on a board, write them somewhere you can see them. You're going to see some of the same words, and you're going to see what other people think about you. And you put it in a place where you can see it. That will build your confidence.
That is interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to try that one.
You should. It's good. And I'll add something. There's a Jim Rohn quote that I really, really love. He says, "You're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with." So think about it. Who do you spend the most of your time with? If you're around people who are negative Nancy's and people who things just don't go right, that's their perspective. That's their frame of reference.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're around them, you're going to think like that. But if you change your environment, then you'll also come out on the other side. Let's say, yeah, today my flight was delayed twice and I couldn't find my bag, and okay, but I made it safely.
Yes, you did.
And I'm here, and it's your frame of reference.
Exactly.
So
eventually, you become a product of your environment.
Absolutely.
That's what that's basically saying. Okay, Jackie. So tell us now, where can we purchase this amazing book? I read it. It's awesome. I'm telling you, you need to get this book like tomorrow, like right now. This is awesome. It have a lot of very good information in there, a lot of different informations that you will need on your job seeking, networking, everything that we discuss is in this book. We just highlight a few things, but you need to know everything that Jackie's talking about. Listen to her. She's the expert in this, okay? So where can the viewers purchase a copy of your book?
So the book is available online in ebook format, paperback, and hardback. So you can get it at Amazon, you can get it at barnesandnoble.com, even the Apple iTunes if you have an iPhone. Get it from the Apple bookstore. If you have an Android, you can get it from the Google Play Store. So, I mean, the book is out there. And if you want a signed copy, I teach a lot of workshops in Atlanta, or you can email me. My email address is on my website.
Right.
And we can arrange for me to send you a signed copy of the book.
Okay, that's good. And if you also need, I'm working with Jackie here. You could also email me. I could tell you, I could help you how to contact. And if you need Jackie to speak at any engagement, any events, workshop, church conferences, seminars, she'll be there. So please contact her. Jackie, what's a good phone number that they could use? Phone the best way to contact
is
you?
email.
Email, okay.
Yeah, the best way is email, and then we'll return phone calls within 24 to 48 hours.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. So remember, go ahead and get your copy. Email Jackie. Okay.
Yes.
Don't you just love this? This is gorgeous. So go ahead and get your copy, and thank you so much, Jackie. Oh my God, it's such a blessing for you to be here. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, always, always. And as always, like I said, no matter what you're going through, and don't be discouraged no matter what happened in your life. Don't give up on your dreams. Jackie and I were just talking a few minutes ago about how you just never know what God planned for your life. He has an amazing plan for your life, and you have greatness in you. Be determined. Like she said, press. She could have said, listen, I can't make it today, but she pressed her way in this weather. She pressed her way, and that, like I said, speaks volumes. So don't give up. Don't give up on your dream, no matter what it feels like. You can get help. There's help. Sometimes when God sends us help, just take the leap of faith. Step out. Okay, this is help right here. God gave her the wisdom, the knowledge to write this book. So you need to get it. Stop whining, stop complaining. There's help out there. Okay? So thanks again, and remember always, Matthew 6:33 says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things shall be added unto you." Thanks again. Thanks for having me. And I just want to thank all the fans, all the people, the viewers that's supporting this, my TV show. I thank you for going on YouTube, for supporting, subscribing. It's truly a blessing. I don't take that lightly, and I don't take it for granted. Thank you, and God bless you. Goodbye.